Hi guys, welcome to Lee Valley and Engage. So there's been a little bit of destruction here, as you can see just here, and more track being laid. So let's have a look at the progress for this week, and we'll let you on the layout and see what else we're going to be planning for next week as well. So let's get on with it, and here's have a look at the video. So first thing we've got to deal with this video, this double slip. As you remember, I did a video on this, and I showed cutting some wires to these sections with the frogs. As was put in on the comment on that video, I actually honestly can't remember your name right now, whoever it was who made that comment, but thank you for making that comment. It did actually make me go and retest this, and I will say this in the most humblest way possible. Yeah, you were right. I have tested it with a short wheelbase locomotive. They do not continue, which is incredibly annoying, especially as the fact that I did look this up on forums, I did look it up and everything, and it said that they would continue running up these sections of track. That has really annoyed me, especially as the fact that now I've got to try and get this thing out, and that's the fact that these cost about £50 each. I do not want to break this. So yeah, so now we're going to have a brainstorm as to how we're going to get this out. In other news, I've actually planned out all of this section. As you can see, there's remains of a cattle dock there. Not remains, that's what going to be the cattle dock. So this is the other part of this video, really, is going to be laying all of this section, all of this yard that is on the downside of the line. So yeah, that's been planned out. That's all ready to go. We just need to start work on that. So that's the main thing that's going to be happening. I have actually checked this, so yeah, it should be fine. So let's get on with doing this. I'm going to film an after video of this. I'm not going to show you do this because this is probably going to end up in tears. So yeah, next thing you'll see is the aftermath of dealing with this. So yeah, see you on the other side. Okay, so we're back again. As you can see, I managed to get this out in one piece, so I'm really happy about that. What I forgot about was the fact that I had drilled some of these holes already for these sections, so we're going to have to solder a wire onto this one to get this okay. What I didn't realise, what I completely forgot actually, was this one here is right under the beam. So I've got a supporting beam here, just there. As you can see, it's right in line with it. So there's the beam here, and if you follow it straight in, it comes straight to here. So that's why I abandoned this in the first place. What I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of changing things up a little bit. So this has to be a separate section to everything else. What I think I might do is that because of where this is positioned, so yeah, make sure your points are away from baseboard beams and joints and stuff. I'm going to have to try and find a way of dealing with this. The way I'm thinking about it at the moment is I'm going to have to relay this section of track here. I mean, this section of track hasn't been laid anyway, the one that was coming off of this bit. So that's fine. I'll just poke myself with the wires, so that's good. So what I'm thinking of doing is that I'm thinking of relaying the piece of track that was here, drilling a couple of holes, putting a new track feed in, and then putting the insulating joints here, so that this section will then be wired into the same as this, and then this section would follow suit. Thinking this section might actually go all the way up to the end of the board, because the fact is that I'm going to have both these sections. I'm going to have stuff on it. They're not going to have engines and coaches and what have you on them during the time that I would actually need actually running trains on it, especially this section of track. It literally just goes to the crossover in between here, so there's not going to be anything sitting there unless a train is actually traveling across this section, but from this line through. So that's not an issue. going to have a really, really good think about it, especially for this section here. I've got a limited number of track feeds left. So I need to think about that, because I don't really want to, because the ideal solution would be to drill a couple of holes here, fix the track feed in, and then go along and then have a separate track feed for that section there. So yeah, so that's something I'm thinking about at the moment. Yeah, I am annoyed at this, because I do particularly want to have to take up more track and then relay stuff when I want to really finish off things. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Sometimes we live and we learn and we correct things and we make errors and have to redo it. And there we go. But there we go. It's a learning step. If we don't make mistakes, we don't learn. So there we go. And as the fact that I'm filming it and showing you guys, yeah, it's for anyone else as well. They can have a think about it and realize that it's not the right thing as well. So I'm going to have to do something with that previous video. Actually, I'm going to have to put a note on it. So yeah, so I will get back to you after that. So the idea is at the moment we're going to have to solder something here. And then we're going to put some track feeds on the other side. And they'll be on the same track section as the actual double slip itself. So that's what we're thinking to do at the moment. And yeah, you'll see how we get on with that next. So I've had a little think about what I'm going to do. And what I've decided to do is that I've decided to think about it more. So what I'm going to do instead is that I'm going to focus on laying all the track in this goods yard. So that's basically what we're going to focus on now. There's a couple of holes that we're going to have to drill. So we're going to have to drill one more point motor hole. Also, by the way this has been laid out, we're going to have to drill another 2 sets of pickups, one at each end of these points. This point, by the way, and this point, which is going to be in the goods yard, these are not going to have point motors attached to them. They're going to be operated by hand. That's how they would be in real life. So I'm just trying to do it like that. I find it just makes it a little bit more simpler. Saves all the money on point motors and all the wiring. I kind of like it. So that's the way I'm going to do that. It's going to have a small head shunt, a very, very small head shunt. I might be able to connect it up on the other side of that. But apart from that, I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do. A bit further, I might extend it further out, which would mean I need another set of pickups. Sorry, track feeds, that's the word I'm looking for. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to start drilling some holes. We're going to start laying some of this track. And yeah, we're just going to get on with that. And we'll move forward from there. Okay, so that is the head shunt and the first line done. So this is going to be sort of like an end loading dock, and then also have probably like a more of a parcels platform. That's the end of the platform there. So for parcels loading and things like that, fish or whatever. This is where the second line is going to be going. This is going to be the cattle dock here. And then just as this is going to end, we're then going to have another siding at the back, and these are going to be part of a coal yard. Getting to the cattle dock is going to be interesting, so it's going to need a bit of shuttling in and out with some of the wagons. I've added in 2 sidings here. I originally was only going to be able to fit in one, but I managed to work out a way of fitting in a second. Just so that I can actually, when actually shunting this, we can actually shunt it quite well. I'm shunting it, so not shunting it quite well. That's not the right way of putting it. If I have one siding, it means that in order to shunt out the empties, I'm going to have to, with the length of the head shunt as it is, it sort of creates a bit of an inglenook sidings type scenario. And I kind of like that idea. It kind of makes it a bit more interesting to shunt in this yard instead of just 2 sidings or 3 sidings. So it means that I can actually use the extra siding in just to help with moving it. Like if we've got empty wagons, moving them out and then swapping them for full wagons gives me just an extra bit of room just to move some wagons around, especially as I'm going to have a very limited number that I can actually keep drawing back beyond those points up there, and then be able to propel back. So yeah, so that's quite a useful thing. I'm going to just put that little curve there. You can probably see it just at the end of this. I'm going to just put it on the board. That's not going to be connected, I don't think, at all. It's just going to be just basically just a set of buffers. The locos will be able to run onto it because the locos are going to have to be that end shunters or whatever is going to be shunting this yard. This is going to be limited to tank engines, obviously, or diesel shunters. It just means that I can get the wagons. It means the loco can get a little bit more room, and it means the buffer stock can be modelled. They'll still be in contact with this section of track anyway, so it's not going to be a problem. So next job will be to lay these 2 coal sidings, finish off those, and then work onto this bit and work out the double slip as well. So yeah, we'll get onto those bits next. So as you can see, we managed to lay both of these lines and get the yard all sorted. We've got the cattle dock ready to position there, so that's going to go well. You can see I've got some of these bits here, which have got ruined sleepers and stuff. So that's going to be there's going to be like a covering on top of that line, so that should be okay. Ballasting and some of the other things should take care of that. If you're wondering what these are going to be, these are going to be coal sidings mainly. These are going to get the access is going to be through here, so that's why it looks like it's a bit weird at the moment. Pretty much what I need to do now is I've got a couple of bits and pieces I need to sort out, so let's move that out of the way. So this area here, as you see, I've sort of traced out the river underneath this flexi track, and I've traced out the other bits as well. I need to plan this board. There's going to be another piece of wood, an offcut of what I made these boards out of. I'm going to cut that out and that's going to be glued in or screwed in to there, and that's going to be part of the station forecourt, and also be the loading dock, the end dock, and the cattle dock as well. So that's going to slot on top of that. I'll put something on top of it to give it a better finish, so it looks a bit like a road. So that's going to be done there. As regards all the other bits, it seems to be okay. I might add an extra section onto this bit at some point. Right now, I'm not going to bother with that at the moment. This board is fairly easy to get stuff in and out of, so I might just nail down this piece of track for a while, run it a bit, see how it works. If I need to extend that section onto the other boards and extend the head shunt, then I will. So that's what the plan is for that at the moment. You probably saw there at the end, I was snipping away with the track snips. On here, I realised I didn't actually put a track brake in. I should have put the insulating fish plates in. So what I've done is I've literally just cut through the fish plates, the joiners there. I've tested it with the with my electrical tester as well, and it's showing there is no circuit there between these. There's no bridge. The electricity can't connect through those. So that's pretty good. Because the thing is that this feed and this feed are going to have to be the same. They will be on the same circuit, same section, same electrical section. So that's going to be the main. So they need to. So if I'm shunting trains in and out of here, I don't want the electricity to start feeding back into the main circuits, main lines. So that's what that's going to be. That's why I've done that. So that's the main thing there. I've sent up a post on this for the on the Engage forum and several forums actually on RMWeb as well. Waiting to see what I get back from that as to what I can do with that. So at the moment, this is all I can really do. To be fair, I can start laying some of the marshalling yard, but I think we'll leave that for another video, maybe for next week, and then we can make that more of an update, and I'll give you some explanation, some of the plans of what I've done so far, and what I plan to do in the future, and some of the other sections of the layout. This board as well is going to get a few extra features and a few other things that I might sort of, not extra features, I'm just going to add some board on it to help with the scenic work for that, so we can start working on that as well. So thank you so much for watching, guys, on this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week on the next one. Bye for now.